Moore.
Here.
O'Kane.
Here.
Shaner.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Water.
Here.
Stand for a moment of silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Interviews for Yamanashi Sister City Committee. Gabe Simpson first. You're gonna do it together? That's good. Come, both of you can come
There
up.
you go.
Come on
My
up.
life.
No doubt.
Go ahead. Tell us both why you want to serve.
Well, I've had a connection to Japan for a long time. Studied it in college. Ended up going over there a multitude of times. Married to a Japanese citizen. She's from there. She's from Niigata City. I have experience with the culture, with the people, with society over there, and of course she does as well. That being her hometown, her birthplace, where she was born and raised. And I thought it'd be a good way to get involved in Sioux City affairs and having experience over there, especially her. She worked on the Chamber of Commerce for almost 9 years over there in Tsubame Sanjo City. So she has a lot of experience over there, especially in a professional setting. So that's why I thought we would both like to be a part of this.
And where's the city she's from?
She's from Niigata City.
Yeah, where's that in relationship to Yamanashi?
Yamanashi is just below Tokyo, so if Tokyo, here's Yamanashi,
Right.
here's Niigata City. It's on the Japan Sea side.
Okay.
Anything you would like to add?
I'm so nervous.
Don't be nervous. It's
Nice
okay.
to meet you guys.
I understand.
And,
What do you want to do?
Just any reason you want to
Any reason
be,
you wanna
yeah,
be.
you want to serve.
I'm interested in Sister City, and I worked for, he said, Chamber of Commerce at Tsubame City, and one of my job was International Association, and we, last year, our city was 25th anniversary with Sister City, and I hosted like 25th anniversary event in the city hall, and so I
Great.
wanna like kind of like connection with
Good.
Japan. I want to.
Good for you. Good. Yes, thank you.
I just wanted to make sure to give you each a chance to say something, so thank you so much.
You did fine.
Of course,
Thank
Gabe.
you.
Great job.
Well, thank you for wanting to serve. We appreciate it. We'll let you know.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
so much.
We'll go to items 3 through 14G today. That's the consent agenda. You can consider each item to pass unanimously unless a separate roll call vote is asked for by a council member. If you want to speak on an item on that part of the agenda, please come up as I read it. If you want to speak on an item not on the agenda, please come up under citizen concern. I'll move that. Second. 3 is a reading of the March 13th City Council minutes. Shouldn't we have minutes from that active transportation on here too?
They're not ready.
Oh, okay. 4 is a resolution scheduling a public hearing regarding the consortium Year 5 action plan. 5 are resolutions adopting plans and specs for the wastewater treatment plant short-term improvements project. 6 are actions relating to grants. A is a resolution approving submission of an application for annual consolidated transit assistance funding. B is a resolution authorizing the filing of an application for federal transportation assistance. C is a resolution authorizing the submission of an application for a commercial service vertical infrastructure grant for the terminal roof replacement at the airport. D is a resolution authorizing the application for an air service sustainment grant for marketing efforts at the airport. E is a resolution authorizing the application of the Airport Improvement Program grant for the South Apron Reconstruction Project at the airport. 7 are actions relating to agreements and contracts. A is a resolution approving the amendment number 1 to the consulting services agreement with DGR Engineering for the 41st Street Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project. B is a resolution approving a First Amendment to the development agreement with Siouxland Splash and Frontline Development for the Siouxland Splash Water Park Development. C is a resolution approving a transaction confirmation agreement with the Energy Authority to sell renewable natural gas from the wastewater renewable fuels plant. D is a resolution approving a contract to Barclay Asphalt for 6120 Pershing Street parking lot overlay project. E is a resolution approving a change order number 2 to the contract for Bainbridge Construction for the 41st Street Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project. F is a resolution approving change order number 2 to the contract with Concrete Plus for the Hamilton Boulevard median removal project. G is a resolution approving a consulting services agreement with SRF Consulting Group for the Leeds Quiet Zone Implementation Project. H is a resolution approving a consulting services agreement with SRF for a consulting group for the Riverside Quiet Zone Study. 8 are actions relating.
Mayor?
Yep.
Do you know how long those studies take in G and F for Leeds and for Riverside?
Have to ask.
I was going to say, I thought it was.
Do you know about how long those studies would last? And then what the next steps would be? Please, thank you.
Brittany Anderson, Senior Civil Engineer. We have Justin Scott here with SRS Group to kind of explain those contracts.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. I'm Justin Scott with SRF Consulting Group. We have been serving the city in dealing with these quiet zones, moving them forward to date, and we will continue to be committed to the city to do that. It's a complicated answer in putting a pin in a map exactly what date we expect those quiet zones to be finished, but we are working diligently to make sure that it happens as soon as possible. Our application for Leeds Quiet Zone and the downtown quiet zone went in last February. We're expecting that timeline to be a minimum of 18 months, so we're really getting up against that 18 months right now and getting close to implementation of that downtown zone. The long answer being we're hoping to have construction.
That's on the Leeds,
That's on the downtown zone.
or downtown. So Leeds and Riverside would be
And then Leeds and Riverside.
quite a ways out.
Time frame on those.
Yeah, so Leeds right now, we just had an accident about a month and a half ago on the Leeds quiet zone, so that's going to complicate things. It may trigger another diagnostic meeting with our FRA and both railroad partners. We're still working with the FRA to determine that right now. So the Leeds one, that's the summary there. For Riverside, this is a brand new quiet zone, so we're hoping to start that Riverside this summer. The first part of the Riverside quiet zone would be the diagnostic meeting and getting the FRA and the BNSF rail partners together this summer to initiate that Riverside quiet zone.
Okay. You see a number of those in communities, the quiet zones being pursued and trying to be put in effect?
We do, yeah. In fact, SRF is a national leader in implementing and developing these zones across the upper Midwest and nationally. What we bring to Sioux City specifically is that we only serve you and other municipalities. We are not conflicted in doing other work with the railroads, so we certainly are serving you in our full capacity in doing that.
Okay, thank you.
Just so I have an understanding, I guess, to piggyback off that. So you do your study and you have your meetings, and then ultimately you submit. You're hopeful that things get approved. It sounds like it's 18 months. Is that kind of 18 months is the window waiting for approval or denial or just more information necessary, and then it goes into you build that up? Is that kind of correct?
It really depends on what we're recommending on the ground. For the downtown quiet zone, as an example, we're doing median work, so that required an FRA application. That's the 18-month time period. After we get approval from that 18 months, that would trigger a couple of notices. There's a notice of intent. We submit that, and it's a 60-day window, and then there's a notice of establishment. We have 30 days after we submit each of those documents, and then the quiet zone is implemented.
And then we are able to build in the median, do those different safety mechanisms for that.
We actually construct in between the notice of intent and the notice of establishment.
Okay. And every crossing is probably different depending on what is necessary for that quiet zone.
Exactly, yeah, it's very nuanced, and there's a lot of minute details in this quiet zone planning practice.
I'm hopeful. Yeah.
So are we, thank you.
No doubt. Yeah. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm certain the railroads will want to be very cooperative in all these things. 8, actions relating to personnel. A is a resolution amending the position classification manual by approving an updated job description for the auto shop supervisor. B is a resolution amending the position class manual by approving an updated job description for the automotive mechanic 2. 9 are actions authorizing payments. A is a resolution authorizing the final payment to Ellison Construction for the 7th and Nebraska Street Emergency Pavement Replacement Project. B is a resolution approving a partial settlement of a tort claim and authorizing payment. 10 are actions relating to property. A is a resolution proposing to sell property adjacent to 426.5 Castleman Street. Petitioner is Richard Redden. B is a resolution proposing to sell property adjacent to 5320 Garrettson Avenue. The petitioner is James Clark. C is a resolution scheduling a public hearing on proposed amendment number 1 to the amended and restated Donner Park Urban Renewal Plan, creation of the Countryside Urban Renewal Sub-Area. 11 is purchasing. A is a resolution awarding a purchase order to Seabright Products for rental of a belt filter press for the wastewater treatment plant. B is a resolution awarding a purchase order to Guterman for the leak detector for the utilities field office. C is a resolution awarding a purchase order to Northwest Electric for a gas compressor motor for the wastewater treatment plant. D is a resolution awarding purchase order to Mallory Electric Motor Service for a feed blower motor for the wastewater treatment plant. E is a resolution awarding a purchase order to CDW Government for desktops for the city replacement project. F is a resolution awarding a purchase order to Southern Computer Warehouse for monitors for the city replacement project. G is a resolution awarding a purchase order to CDW Government for desktops for the county replacement project. H is a replacement awarding a purchase order to Riverside Technology for monitors and laptops for the county replacement project. I is a resolution authorizing the purchase of wastewater treatment plant property insurance to Mills, Shellhammer, Pitts and Associates. 12 are applications.
Mayor?
Yes.
Could I ask on 11I, the insurance, Nicole or Ron, was that 14% increase expected or anticipated? Is that about what we're seeing on
Yes,
increases?
it was anticipated, and if Ron has anything additional to add, he can, no, okay.
You say it was not?
It was
what-
anticipated. Yes.
All right, thank you.
12 are applications for cigarette, tobacco, nicotine vapor permits, 13 applications for beer and liquor license, 14 board, commission, and committee minutes. Anyone to be heard on any of these items?
Need to abstain on item 12A7.
Passes 5-0. 15, those ordinance rezoning 1800 Indian Hills Drive. The petitioner is Nathan Conley. P&Z recommends approval. First consideration approved May 13, 2024. I'll move second reading.
Second.
Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, I guess I don't have to say it's the hearing. It's not a hearing, so we just vote.
I did want to provide clarification. I received an email. I don't know if all of you received it. And it was just kind of regarding some of my comments that I made at the last meeting, trying to equate traffic flow and saying that, well, there might be an increase similar to when it was staffing or when it was operational. I understand it's not going to be apples to apples necessarily, but I was saying that I think with a facility that had 150 plus whatever it was beds, I understand that those residents didn't necessarily have, you know, transportation or coming going every single day. But I would imagine the staffing of a facility that large would bring with it a number of vehicles. And then when you look that the number of units being built here is a fraction of the number of beds, I just was saying, I think that it's not going to be exorbitant. We're not building a monstrosity of an apartment complex. So I received a nice little email that was pointing out some of those things. So I just wanted to provide a little bit of clarification. But
I had a nice letter to the editor in the paper about why are we tearing down houses at the airport, which I don't think I voted for yet, and none of you have, and I don't think at this time I'll be voting for that proposal. So I guess to Mr. Webb in North Sioux City, I'd like you to wait next time until I actually vote that way. Passes 4-0. Mr. Moore abstains. I'll move to waive the rules unless somebody has a problem with that. Somebody want a second?
second.
O'Kane.
Aye.
Shaner.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Abstain, conflict of interest.
I'll move third reading.
Second.
Shaner.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Abstain.
O'Kane.
Aye. Good luck, man. Thank you.
16 is an ordinance amending municipal code entitled zoning districts and land uses to clarify the standards for auto sales and service repairs. Petitioners, the city of Sioux City. P&Z recommends approval. It was deferred from May 6, 2024. I'll move that.
Second.
Go ahead.
Sir, if you guys got any more questions.
I was going to say, you missed the last one, man. You got to sit out of that one. I didn't know if you were coming back after you watched it.
I'll come back. Don't worry.
All right, deal.
Did your committee,
So, kind of give you guys an update. The RCA, and we can move to this screen.
Presentation, please.
So this is the previous proposal that we had in front of you 2 weeks ago. We took the comments that you guys had provided us and kind of some of the feedback, and we came up with a updated proposal. And then last Wednesday, we met with some of the folks that were here that night and also a couple others that we've been in communication with throughout this process. And we sat down with them and went over the alternative updated proposal. They gave us a little bit more feedback about a couple other things. And in the RCA, if you go to attachment E, is kind of what came out of that meeting. So what we are proposing this time, there's in standard B, we did the excluding the display of vehicles for sale or lease, and then excluding the display of vehicles for sale or lease licensed vehicles currently being repaired. And what that really comes out of is when customers bring any type of cars that need to be repaired that may have been in an accident and they're waiting for the insurance adjusters and parts to come in, it basically clarifying that section and make it allow it for them to still do business, but really address those concerns there. And additionally, I know that we had a fairly active discussion with the size of the lots last time, and what we came back with is we did away with the conditional use permit for the GC and BP and GI and move those back to limits. So as long as they met these standards, they could go into business. Additionally, on item L, which this would be for expanding businesses and then also new. We went from the 2 acre requirement and we moved it down to 1. And then that would be allowed as long as they meet the rest of the standards. If they wanted to go below 1 up to a half an acre, that's when we would kick in a conditional use permit. So there would be kind of a check for the Board of Adjustment on these dealerships. We kind of think that's a nice compromise, but also addresses some of the car dealerships and other businesses that are going into the neighborhoods. So I think we kind of reached a nice middle point. And with that, any questions?
I just want, did your board have any input in this? I mean,
We met and talked about the size of the lots. We were okay with the smaller acre, going down to that size. That's what we mainly discussed at our last board meeting.
Questions?
I would just say commend Wade and staff, and I know that the committee went through this, P&Z went through it a lot as well, and I know a lot of thought was given, and I appreciate the diligence of taking a little more time. I know, talked with members that were at that public meeting, and they just said that it was handled really well and gave you kudos, Wade, so I just wanted to thank you for taking the time, and P&Z as well, for sure.
I know some of those folks are in the audience, so I don't know if they want to speak.
Yeah, does anybody in the audience want to be heard?
There we go.
Ben Smethler, 3829 Jones Street. I just basically want to reiterate the thanks to Wade and his team for working with us. It was a really, really nice effort on their part. We could tell that they were really trying to get things done for us. So basically just that acknowledgement. Thank you.
Thank you. I still have one concern. I think what you guys have done is good. We talked about it earlier. I don't want to see these car lots that you can't fight a fire in. So somehow you can tell me that these guys are grandfathered in, but if they don't meet fire code, I don't like having to pay for a fire extinguisher every year in my office when I don't think I'm ever going to use it. So how come we can't do something with the fire department to make sure these lots, we can get through them? Well, then I think you need to do that, because I think one of your biggest concerns on P&Z and is mine is these lots are too cluttered with cars, and you have to pull into one and back out, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I don't know how you mark it that way. So
I think this gave enforcement some direction and some clarity on how they could pursue that with existing lots.
I think so too. So I hope you'll work with them and the fire department to make sure that happens.
Yeah, we can reach out and have a meeting with Mark in the near future and kind of go over that.
Well, and similar to what the mayor was saying, one of the things I thought about was, look, you went through all of the diligence to have the list of different lots, you know what I mean, like car lots and different people that are doing this, and now it would be much easier for maybe inspections to go through and just make sure. So maybe after your meeting with Mark or whoever, say, these are the standards that need to be met, and then they can even deliver, this is what was voted on, or this is what the updated is, just so you know, and dropping that off, but going through and almost doing just a check of, hey, we're just trying to clean house and make sure that everyone is safe here.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank staff. They do all the heavy lifting. We come up with the ideas and see a need for it, and they do a really good job. And a credit to a lot of the dealerships in town, as you know, I think it opened their eyes a little bit too, that yeah, maybe we do need to clean some up. I've seen several that have done a really nice job on fixing their facilities up and moving some stuff around. So,
and I would like two things in the interim. One, that we do enforce whatever ordinances we have. I think that's important. And two, I would ask that we put a moratorium on any new car lots, anything new, at least for another 3 or 4 months until we figure out that what we've done is working. I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't think we need it any more in this town right now. I think Sioux was smarter than us in what they did, so.
It isn't any different than signs, the billboard signs.
Right.
Put a moratorium on anything new until we have a solid idea of how we want it permanently.
I would like to see that on the next council agenda, that we would have a moratorium for at least 4 months.
I will work with staff and bringing forward a proposed moratorium in the June meeting, first June meeting.
But you are saying that we can move forward with this and then
As long as they
bring
enforce what
something
we have,
forward, bring something
continue to
forward
work-
next.
Continue to make it better within the confines of what we have.
And what is currently in front of the council is the ordinance as originally proposed. So if the council wishes to incorporate staff's potential or proposed changes in attachment E, we would need an amendment to do that.
I'll move to amend to incorporate the recommendations that staff came up with this past week.
Second.
You want to call the roll on the amendment, Danny?
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
O'Kane.
Aye.
Shaner.
You can vote electronically on the regular motion now,
Yeah.
as amended, yep. Passes 5-0. Anybody opposed to waiving the statutory rule? I'll move it.
Second.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
O'Kane.
Aye.
Shaner.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye, I'll move second and third.
Second.
Great job, guys.
Moore.
Aye.
O'Kane.
Aye.
Shaner.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
That's one of, I'm sure the council's done it, but thank you, everybody that was involved. This is a process that seemed to work, so thank you. 17 is a hearing and resolution approving plans and specs for the Southwest Scott Street Water Main Replacement Project. I'll move it.
Second.
Public hearing is now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 5-0. 18 is a hearing and resolution approving plans and specs for the Discovery Parking Ramp Repair Project. I'll move that.
Second.
Public hearing is now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 5-0. 19 is a hearing and resolution approving the proposal to sell property adjacent to 102 South Ruston Street. The petitioners Brooke Colazo and Adolfo Colazo Pena. I'll move that.
Second.
Public hearing is now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 5-0. 20 is a hearing and resolution approving the proposal to sell property adjacent to 110 Russin Street. The petitioner Smith Properties. I'll move it.
Second.
Hearing is open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 5-0. 21 is a hearing and resolution approving a proposal to sell property adjacent to 911 Cornelia and 905 Glass. The petitioners Raymer and Raymer Properties. I'll move it.
Second.
Public hearing is now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 5-0. 22 is a hearing and resolution approving a proposal to sell property commonly known as 2103, 07, and 11 Myrtle Street and authorizing a development agreement. The petitioner Siouxland Habitat for Humanity. I'll move it.
Second.
Public hearing is now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed.
Lots.
Passes 5-0. 23 is a resolution approving a development agreement and minimum assessment agreement with Brickyard Developers, the property located at 4600 South Lewis Boulevard. I'll move it.
Second.
Passes 5-0. I'd like to make sure we send all developers letters that when they have a proposal like this, that they will sign it or they start negotiations over, that we don't go retroactive on these anymore in the future. 24 is a motion authorize city staff to move forward with construction plans extending the sanitary sewer main on Broken Kettle Road. Anybody else can move it.
I'll move it.
Second.
Gordon Fair, City Engineer. Before you is the plans to, or proposal to start design and implement a new sewer in Broken Kettle Road from Briarcliff to Stone Park Boulevard. I did receive one call from one of the property owners today, and they are in favor of it, and they do have a sanitary sewer that's failing. This is other than the original person who requested it. So we have two.
Their own system is failing, is that what you said?
Yes. Yes.
And Gordon, to be clear, if it fails or if they are going to hook onto it at that time, they will have, 10 years then to pay off that, or they'll be assessed that, or is it over a period of time? Or remind me how that works.
At this point, it's a connection fee at that point. Whether, if council wants to give them a period of time to pay back and assess, then that would be up to you.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if that was protocol. I apologize. And
The only
Mayor,
way you get that, I'm practicing law here, but the only way you should get that is when it's a new sewer line on a new street that you agree to hook up to at that point, and you accept it as part of your assessment on the paving. I've been down the road. So when, I didn't hook up right away, so when my neighbors hooked up, they included it in their bill. They bonded for the whole project. They had to pay an interest higher than the bond. But those of us that didn't hook up at that time were on our own to pay to hook up later. We
A
didn't.
one-time only fee then?
It's a one-time only when you're doing paving normally. It's not, we're not bonding for this necessarily, so.
and then they would just, if you can't afford it all up front, you would just get a loan or do whatever you need to do. Is that?
Well, I guess you guys can always finance them, but that's not, I'm just telling you.
No, I know. I'm asking, is that
the way-
historically they just
the
go
way
get a
it's
loan
been,
or
but you had to hook up the day the
Okay.
contractor was putting a sewer pipe up in the old days.
And Mayor, I know your concern was with the American Rescue dollars. I don't know what,
I still have that concern. And I didn't realize last week, shame on me, but I don't know how you would know that was in here when we should have, I've talked to Teresa. I don't know why we wouldn't do those the same day. I don't know why you did it last week. And I know Gordon's all excited about this project and happy that I missed that. So I'm just going to vote no today. Daryl, here we go.
Oh, it, did you not see?
I'll assume it passed 4-1. I vote no. 25 is a resolution amending number 220416 relating to the demolition of 1218 West 20th Street and authorizing a 90-day delay in demolition. The property owners Hugo and Maria Priato.
Daryl Bullock, Inspection Services Manager. This is a property that has new ownership now and has provided all the documentation and the $10,000 bond, and staff would recommend awarding the 90-day stay of demolition.
Move that.
Second.
Daryl, either passes 5-0. And the Lawrence one that we all got email, or I forward emails. We're not doing anything, and you're going to, before you do anything, you're going to stay in touch with the.
Absolutely, yeah. We already given them a year on that one, and it's unfortunate. It's a set of circumstances, but it is. We're watching it. So.
Okay. Yep. Thank you. 26 is a resolution directing the sale of general obligation bonds, Series 2024A, and it looks like that would be to KeyBank Capital Markets.
Teresa Fitch, Finance Director. I also have Tim Oswald here from Piper. He's their financial advisor to answer any questions. I did leave a memo for you, but yes, you're correct. That's KeyBank Capital Markets at 3.535%. We did budget at 6%, so we did come in below.
Don't tell him. Not any.
No. He didn't know beforehand. We only disclose afterwards.
I found out today.
All right.
Move it.
I moved it.
Second.
I said Key Bank. I was just waiting for you to second it.
Sorry.
I said I'll move it based upon Key Bank being the low bid. We'll just vote. It's late in the meeting. Let's get out of here today.
Late in the meeting.
Do you have something?
We went past
like
your
to share with us?
4:10.
Well, on the next item.
On the next one?
Yep.
Okay.
How'd we do?
Passes 5-0. 28 is a resolution, 27 is a resolution directing sale of taxable obligation bonds 2024B. I'll move that to Northland Securities, Inc.
Yep, again, that came in at 5.1038%. Again, budgeted at 6%. Tim is going to explain, we did have a non-conforming bid that he'll explain why we were not able to take.
Sure. So the apparent low bidder, so remember, bids are submitted electronically. It's all a computer-based system. The apparent low bidder, if you just looked at the average rates, was slightly lower than Northland's at 5%. When I did what I'm supposed to do, I dug into actually looking at the rates they bid, one of the things that I noticed was that their first two interest rates in the years 25 and 26 were higher than all of the other interest rates in all the later years. And the bid specs specified that the rates bid from year to year must be either level or ascending. So if you're going to have a low rate, it will be in year one, and then thereafter rates would ratchet their way up. So the bid was non-conforming. And actually, to correct myself, sixth place bid was also non-conforming. We weren't going to consider that bid anyway, so I'm not going to worry about them. But the first place bid the apparent first place bid was non-conforming. I discussed it with that bidder. They agreed that when they looked at it, it was non-conforming. I discussed then with the apparent second place bidder that they were going to become the dance partner, which they were happy about. Before I did any of that, I discussed it with Teresa and your outside bond attorney as well. And we all agreed, speak for you,
I agree.
That you might have been the only person that ever could explain what an unbalanced bid is. We have them in construction jobs all the time here, but nobody ever pays attention. So good job.
Thank you.
Detail.
Do you have any other questions for Tim or I?
Yeah, we'll vote on this.
So it has 27, but it has a different title on my screen.
Oh, it does. It is 27 for the
I just
bond.
wanted to make sure I was doing it.
I don't. BSDM. It is for item 27.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to check.
Pass 5-0. This is a dumb question, but the bid was for $15,735,000, and then it says the bonds were increased to $15,690. Should that, so explain for somebody that doesn't understand bonds.
Great question. So when we set up the sale, we make certain assumptions about how the bidder will bid and what kind of fees you'll pay. And we've got enough history that we're probably not going to be terribly far off on fees, but we may be off on how the bidder bids. And so we always reserve the right in the bid after we receive it to change the amount so as to not borrow more than you need to borrow to fund the CIP, or borrow less than you need to borrow to fund the CIP. Wander into the weeds of one more step. Some of the bonds are taxable and some of them are tax exempt, and we have to balance out which projects fit into which category. We also have to monitor which ones are within which public hearing you held, since you held multiple public hearings. So that's why we adjust.
But actually, we're borrowing less, so that decreased, didn't it?
Yeah, that could be a typo.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
what I
it
was.
is a decrease.
I just want to make sure that
Sorry about that.
yeah, that's fine. I thought that was the case, but I know you do PARs and all that.
Yeah, correct.
Jazz that I don't understand. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
28 is a resolution adopting the Leach Avenue cul-de-sac design option for the IDOT Gordon Drive Viaduct project deferred from May 13, 2024. I'll move to delete the cul-de-sac portion. If there's.
So that it wouldn't include it, right? And just continue through. Second.
Go ahead, Gordon.
Gordon Fair, City Engineer. I just wanted to know if there was any questions. I know Mr. Moore and I went out a couple of times and checked it out. I did find out that if the cul-de-sac is flipped to the other side, to the south side, we will not lose that one house.
I ask my friend a couple of questions. You were batting 1,000 with me over these years.
I know. Andy Cohen, Wilson Trailer, 4400 South Lewis.
But with the mayor's motion, you kind of sense where this is going. But when I went out with Gordon to drive it, it was the Cunningham to Leach connection, about 3 blocks that you'd have to go to keep, if the cul-de-sac was there. And so I was leaning in favor of the cul-de-sac, just to be honest with you. But you also would have, I don't know if this helps much, but there would also be access to that, the gravel parking lot, or the rock parking lot that you would have.
Correct.
Even with the cul-de-sac. And then we both were concerned, why are we taking this house? Because it wasn't making any sense to us, but it was because it was being moved over. So if we move it back, the house can be saved. But I was going to, and I'm sorry I didn't call you. I had too many things come up, but I was going to call you and say, I drove this. I'm really leaning toward the cul-de-sac, so I'd be transparent with you. And I was going to say, you know, it's an extra 3 blocks. What do you think? Is what I was going to ask you. Maybe it doesn't matter at this point, because I don't know if I'd have 3 votes to do a cul-de-sac or not. But it did appeal to me, and I shared that with Gordon for those reasons. Oh, the other thing is the street. Well, this is coming at, this part of the project is coming at the very end of, after most of the construction's been done, correct? No. It's one of the last.
Oh, I don't know, it's part of the,
Well,
that whole intersection.
Well, I understood the cul-de-sac was going to be one of the last after the viaduct and everything else is.
Well, when they start that whole
Okay.
Lewis
Not that
improvement?
matters, but what did matter was the street might go 10 or 11%.
Yes.
Which is
11.5, actually.
11.5. So that's kind of, I mean, it's what, at about 10 now?
Yes.
A little bit steeper. And I know I'm not going to convince you, but I did want to let you know that changed my opinion. Because, and I don't know if you agree with me that you'd be 3 blocks, you'd have to go 3 blocks further if you do Cunningham.
It is correct, but I mean, access on trucks, you know, going through neighborhoods, you know, is not good. But also the access off of Lewis Boulevard is a quick and easy access for the place. But then again, it also devalues the property if we ever go to sell it or we decide to upgrade it and make it back into a full manufacturing facility again.
If we limit the use of what they could use it for without access to Lewis, is that what
Yes, yes.
Well, and I appreciate all that your company has done over the years. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's been significant, but I'm also looking at just globally. I'm looking at the total project and the impact that it would have on the traffic as well.
Right.
It's still fun to work with you.
I agree. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. You're welcome. Gordon, did I leave anything out that I talked about?
The fact that there's about 20,000 cars a day in that Lewis area, or projected to be at that time. So that would be the only other thing. Makes it smooth. It'd be a smoother ride for everybody on Lewis.
That's all I had.
If you, not that, I don't know what the vote's gonna be, I have no idea. If you move the cul-de-sac, who do you take property then from?
Some of it would be from Wilson Trailer,
Well, a
that
lot.
empty lot right next door.
A lot of it would have to.
I'm sorry, what?
It'd have to be like a hammerhead or whatever they call it, where you're taking a whole.
It'd be an offset knuckle.
Yeah, so you'd have to take a lot from Wilson.
Not a lot, but some. It wouldn't be a huge amount. They'd still have plenty of viable property.
Not taking a house down, how could it not be a fairly large amount?
Well, only because it would be taking up their front yard. There's, on this property, there's nothing
And they'd be
there
going out
now.
the front door onto the cul-de-sac. There you
Right.
go. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. On the amendment,
Yes, so the motion that's pending is the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, the motion itself. There's just one motion, right?
right, because otherwise you're adopting it the way they drew it. So you gotta amend it to delete the cul-de-sac.
Currently, the resolution reads that we're adopting the plan that includes the cul-de-sac.
That wasn't the main motion. No one moved that resolution.
Yeah,
They moved the deletion of the cul-de-sac.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll move the main motion then. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll now move to amend to delete the cul-de-sac
Second.
on the amendment.
Voting, or are you calling it?
No, you gotta call that one. You have to call the amendment first.
Yep. Moore,
No.
O'Kane,
No.
Shaner,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes?
Waters.
Aye.
Now on the main motion, we can vote electronically.
Got it.
Thanks.
On the main motion as amended.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. No, we just want to,
Well, I was okay just with the motion the way you first made it. That's all I was.
No, I don't think you're right. I don't think we could do it that way. I think we did it the right way. Okay. Passes 5-0. Any citizens to be heard? If so, please come to the microphone and state your name and address, please. Seeing none, Mr. O'Kane.
I'm ready. I'm ready for summer. It is going to be a very long week. Lots of graduations. I've heard a lot of graduation parties going on. So far that I have been at or seen or had knowledge of have done a good job of cleaning up after themselves. Hopefully that continues. This week is graduation week throughout the city. I think we've got a couple weeks of that ahead of us. So lots of new people. We're going to be doing a lot of cleanup at the school and getting ready for summer and tearing down. So very, very busy week for us teachers. Heading into the summer, I'm really excited for a lot of the projects we have going. A lot of parks, a lot of new houses being built. And hopefully, like Julie's been saying for the past few weeks, hopefully we just encourage everybody to continue cleaning up after themselves. The city looks really good, so if we can keep that momentum up, we've got plenty of young people that are excited about keeping the city clean too, so have that momentum.
Julie.
I want to bring up item 22. It caused me to kind of pause and think today. Item 22 on the agenda was the hearing and the resolution approving the proposal to sell certain real estate property, authorizing a development agreement. And that is 3 lots, 2103, 2107, 2111 over on Myrtle Street. The city owned the lots, and we sold them to Habitat for Humanity for $1 per lot so that they could build 3 homes right by each other to continue to get some affordable housing going. And I plan on continuing to locate lots, to locate partners, to freckle these homes that are obtainable throughout our city. So keep watching for that. If you have any ideas, please feel free to email me. My city email's on our website. I'll be happy to sit down and talk with anybody who's got some ideas that can help us tackle this housing problem. And that's all I have.
So this week is National Travel and Tourism Week. And so there's a lot of different entities celebrating that, kind of highlighting different communities all over the state of Iowa. And along with that, actually here in Sioux City is going to be the Tourism Insider Meeting that's going to be held at the not the convention center, at the Sioux City Public Museum. And so a bunch of just different industry partners from all over the state are going to be coming. I believe last I heard there were like 40 some registrants. These are the leaders of different CVBs from all over the state that are going to be coming here and just kind of learning some new best practices and having a conversation. One of the things that I wanted to highlight is I'll be speaking on one of the panels for that, just having to do with accessible tourism and really highlighting things in your community, both highlighting what you have, but also promoting and working with your Parks and Rec department to consider implementing different things to be more accessible. And I really highlighted a lot of the things that our staff has done. I think whether you're looking at Miracle League Park overall, I mean, with the splash pad and everything that's been done there, or even the improvements that we've done with different shelter houses, making sure that there's sidewalk access getting up to different shelter houses, or the workout equipment that's down at the riverfront, the adaptive climbing equipment that's at our climbing wall, or you look at Cone Park having the All Abilities Day, or, I mean, gosh, Camp High Hopes. There's a ton of different ways that the city has been good partners and really trying to implement more things so that we are more of an inclusive community. And I really wanted to highlight for this group that they should urge their communities to do similar things to be inclusive. So looking forward to that. That starts tomorrow. And then they're actually going to be out touring on Wednesday out at Miracle League Field as well in Riverside. So looking forward to showcasing and showing off some of what our city has done. The next thing that I wanted to bring up was, I think it's just Sioux City, or was it Cone Park? Cone Park Trail Fest. So Parks and Recreation is also putting on Trail Fest on June 15th. And it's really just a chance to get people of all ages, whether it's kids, families, adults, otherwise excited about all the different biking opportunities that we have in the community. Obviously, we're showcasing some of our new amenities with the mountain climbing or mountain biking and different things, the trail system, pump track, those types of things. But also just the trail connectivity, I think, is really exceptional of what we've been able to accomplish as a council through our Parks and Recreation department. There's a whole schedule if you check out on Cone Park City or the Facebook event that is Cone Park Trail Fest. So it should be a great time showcasing what we have and gaining a lot of more excitement for that in our community. The last thing that I wanted to mention is coming up at 5:30 p.m. today. I wanted to make everyone aware. I've talked about this before, and I realize the audience, at least physically here, is a little sparse tonight. But for anyone listening or anyone else that wants to cover, there's an organization called 100 Plus Men and Women Who Care meeting tonight from 5:30 p.m. It gets over before 7 p.m., but roughly 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. We'll be meeting at Minerva's tonight, and what that organization does is different nonprofits are suggested or nominated. That's the word I wanted. Thank you. Nonprofits are nominated. It can be any nonprofit throughout the community, and basically the individual doing that nominating is then invited to speak for a minute or two about that nonprofit and why they might be deserving, and then every member that's there, as well as those that aren't able to make it, write a $100 check. We meet quarterly, but really the beauty behind that is, if you get 100 individuals together to write a $100 check, it's pretty moving when you think that $10,000 can go to a nonprofit organization. There have been hundreds of thousands that have been raised thus far by those groups, and it's really great because sometimes I know I'm in the boat that I can't write a $10,000 check, but I can surely do a $100 check, and I wanted to make sure that it's making a difference. And so I'm really proud of the work they've been doing in Sioux City and directing to those nonprofits. So if you're interested at getting involved or joining that, just let me know. You can always reach out, or I believe it's on Facebook and different, maybe even a website of 100 plus men and women who care of Siouxland. So I'll be there tonight and looking forward to it. That's all I have, Mayor.
Hey, Dan.
I have a few things, Mayor. First of all, a week from today, we will not have a council meeting because it's Memorial Day, and I hope everyone will remember those that have gone before us and pay respects to family and friends that have passed. Secondly, the Morningside Days Parade was probably the best attended parade that I've been to yet, and it was really good. It was really good turnout.
Sorry to have missed
Lots of fun, great weather.
I really liked the parade.
It was a good time. And then my third item I wanted to mention ties in with this, what was on my desk when I came in. Congratulations on your milestone, 10 years of service. That's to me. They're inviting me to a City of Sioux City employee recognition event in celebration of your achievement, which I appreciate. It's Thursday, June 13th.
Hope they give you a pin. They never give anybody else any around here. So
Well, I think my pin
Get a meal now.
it's in the mail.
It's in the mail, June 13th, Siouxland Seaboard Tramp. This is timely because I wanted to say to our staff and our team, to each and every one of them, from city manager all across the board, I wanted to thank our staff. We have a lot of good things going on in Sioux City, Iowa, and we're going to continue to have a lot of good things going on. And our planning and zoning chair said it so well, and I said it as a planning and zoning chair, is that I couldn't do what I did on the planning and zoning without a good staff, and I can't do what I'm doing on the city council without a good staff. And when you have a lot of things going on in the city, which we do, all good, some challenging. For example, I can give you a challenge, the economic development team. We have some challenges with our projects that we're putting together. But you know, that's par for the course in a lot of ways. And I just want to tell the staff of City Hall how much I appreciate the good work that they do, and that we have a good staff, and that they really work hard on trying to make projects come to fruition. They work hard at making sure it gets done right, and we have a lot of good leadership. And I just want to say that because, you know, yes, I have 10 years of service, and I'm really proud of it, and I'm proud to be a member of the Sioux City City Council, but I couldn't be successful without a good staff. And that includes a really good city attorney and her staff as well, because there's so many legal ramifications to sometimes what we're doing or what people want us to do, and that becomes important as well. So thank you, city staff. Thank you for making everything just progress. We're making progress, and doesn't necessarily have to be perfection at times, but I strive for that as well. I think, and that was a big one for me, Mayor, because I just I've been at some
10 years.
I'm in the middle of my third term.
Okay.
Yeah. But you'll probably get a certificate for what, 30?
Participation.
38 years or 42 years, a load of years. But I did want to say that because it's important to me. And non-city related, I've been to other meetings, and we have these kindness signs all throughout the community. And if we could just be exercising kindness, professionalism, civility, you can go a lot further with that.
Love your city.
And mutual respect for each other. It's just important to me, and it's something that has always been important to me, and I don't want to ever waver on that. That's part of the reason why I was telling my friend out there that, I was being transparent. I just said I've studied it, I've looked at it, and you don't always vote the way people want you to vote, but you vote and making it what you consider an informed decision. So I really, truly enjoy, and I know we differ on our votes, but I also really, truly enjoy working with the mayor and with the council members. You guys are the best to work with because we can agree to disagree. And we come in every Monday after Monday, we come in and no one has a hidden agenda. No one is saying, well, I'm going to get even with Dan Moore today because I didn't like how he voted last week. We just have a lot of good things going for us, and that includes our staff. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, first of all, Dan covered for me on a deal yesterday because I went to see my granddaughters in Omaha that took 2.5 hours, and I went above and beyond the call of duty. If I'd have known that, I might have told them that we'd have them read the proclamation. And what we didn't remember to congratulate, and I'm going to miss one, I'm sure, but I know there was a mother sitting at this table that had a daughter that was crowned a state champion in track, so congratulations to Ellie for that.
Wow.
And there was a young kid from Siouxland Christian, that ambulatory state champion, John Reynolds, won a state championship, and I don't know if there were anybody else from Sioux City. Heelan, I think, came in second or third.
Yes. I watched Mr. Reynolds run. He did a fabulous job in the 400.
So
he ran a couple other events as well, and I think he was runner-up in both of those.
So we had 2 state champions out of Sioux City, and I wish the school wasn't out so we could bring them here to recognize them, but I wanted to congratulate them, and I move we adjourn.
Second. Didn't you love those days when school was out for summer?
Shaner.
Aye.
Scott.
Yes.
Waters.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
You think I wanted to go around the